In the news this morning, we do start with some crazy breaking news. A school bus gets stolen from a Nashville high school and then taken on a joyride all over the campus and especially onto the football field. This happened over at Maplewood High School, and apparently the suspects are still on the run. Alexandra Cohen is on the scene. She's gathering some more information, so we're going to check in with her in just a moment. But you can see right here the damage that they did. They plowed through a fence and did this a couple of different times as they took this school bus right around the campus and then right onto the football field. In fact, tore the bumper off as they plowed through the fence there to get onto the football field. Tried to do some donuts, but in a school bus, that cannot be very impressive. The field does have some grass torn up, but not terribly damaged. Luckily, it's been dry, so it wasn't very muddy. They do have a football game coming up this weekend. They're trying to find out if there's enough damage there to maybe move that game. Looks like it's going to be all right, but they're going to have to replace that fencing and clean up some of the mess there left behind. Again, the suspect's still on the run. They're looking for them right now. We'll have more coming up on that story in just a bit. All right, moving on now. We do have some more breaking news to tell you about. A chase in Wilson County, and it lands a woman behind bars. It started last night in Mount Juliet when police responded to a disorderly person call at the MAPCO on Lebanon Road. Witnesses told police that a woman was damaging some property and trying to fight with the clerk. When officers showed up, she jumps in a car and she takes off like you know what. Lebanon police and Wilson County deputies joined in the chase. The suspect finally surrendered over in Lebanon. Luckily, no one was hurt. Happening right now, a motorcyclist fighting for his life after a crash in Clarksville. It happened on Peters Mill Road near the intersections of Abraham Drive and Allen Griffey Road. They still don't know what caused the crash, though. Police are urging anyone with information, if you saw this thing happen or maybe you were nearby, well, give them a call. That man remains in critical condition this morning. Some dramatic video to show you of the need for the move over law. Watch. Ow. Okay, imagine if that were your car there that got hit or the one that did the hitting. This is on I-40 West near Mount Juliet. The driver slammed into the officer's patrol car, because that's a dash cam video you're seeing right there. The officer had just gotten out of the car. First responders were there because of a car fire. No one was hurt, but THP is investigating. But that's the need there for that move over law. And if you can't move over, at least slow down a whole lot. Recovery crews have unfortunately found the body now of that dad that drowned in Dale Hollow Lake in Clay County. We told you about this story yesterday. Just tragic. Crews have been searching for that man since Saturday. He was swimming with his son. The son started struggling. The dad jumps in trying to save his son. Well, the son wound up being pulled to safety by a passing boat. The father, though, never resurfaced. Just a horrible story. Investigators have not yet released that victim's identity. You can download the News Channel 5 app, and as soon as they release the identity, we'll have it there for you. Happening today, the man accused of running over a 4-year-old in North Nashville is going to be facing a judge. Stephen Works is facing vehicular assault charges. Investigators say the 45-year-old had apparently been drinking and then he was asleep at the wheel before he swerved into a yard on Meade Avenue, knocking the child off his bike. That little boy, luckily, is expected to be okay. Works is due in court at 12:30 today. Tennessee officials are facing some tough criticism for the way they handled that Amber Alert we told you about yesterday morning. The little girl is now safe, and her accused abductor is in custody over in Memphis. Here's the deal, though. Investigators say 4-year-old Rebecca Lewis was taken from her home down in Polk County, Florida by a guy named West Wild Hogs, who's an estranged family friend. Why he took her, they don't know. They were spotted in East Tennessee Sunday and then in South Nashville yesterday morning. It wasn't until the TBI verified that Hogs was indeed in the state that they issued the Amber Alert. And Florida folks don't like it.
The state of Tennessee chose not to do an Amber Alert when we asked them to. Well, here's a news flash, Tennessee. He was there.
Well, the state didn't do a statewide Amber Alert. They only did one for over in East Tennessee and then did one later once they realized he may be in other parts of Tennessee. So the TBI replied saying, quote, "We indicated that since there was no specific information, the child was in Tennessee at the time, we were not able to issue an Amber Alert." The alert did go out after a credit card transaction was verified, showing that the suspect was indeed in our state. It's still unclear why that man took the kid to begin with, but luckily she is safe this morning. The Allgood Police Department is facing a federal lawsuit from a former female officer claiming harassment in a hostile work environment.
I started shining light on things that they didn't want light to be shown on.
That's Dana Looper right there. She says she was always aware of inappropriate sexual comments targeting her and other female officers. But she tells us when another officer came to her about the same type of complaints, Looper suggested that that officer may want to speak to an attorney. And then not long after that, Looper herself was fired. Now she's suing the city manager, the police chief, and the city of Allgood.
When something like this happens, and if you're strong enough mentally to handle it, because I know there's going to be a lot of backlash, I think you should try to make change.
Looper was with the department for 6 years. She said they fired her for not properly performing duties and insubordination. The city stands by that firing. All right, some politics now. Today is your last chance to register for vote in the upcoming election, November the 8th. You can do it in person or send in a mail-in ballot. Early voting runs from October the 19th through November the 3rd. We have all the information you're going to need on our website, newschannel5.com.